It looks like a halo. It
Yeah.
doesn't look right.
Just so you know, we've been red dotted now for the last couple minutes. So we are live. And
I'll have
welcome.
to cut that down.
No, you leave it in. Leave it in. But no, it's great to be back. Welcome back to the Holin None Pod. You're here with Shanky and my two co-hosts, Danny Bidness. What's up, Danny?
Not a lot, mate. Just getting into the Buffalo trace that got us into trouble a few weeks ago. So
yeah, let's not talk
who
about
knows
that.
where tonight could end.
And Hayden Highties, how you doing?
A lot better than I was on Saturday, that's for sure.
What happened on Saturday?
What happened on Saturday? I did something that we don't like to do anymore. Is hit triple figures in a golf round. And I was so unhappy with it that I actually went back on Sunday because they were testing it. The course was playing really hard, and I went back on Sunday and dropped 10 shots. So
there you go.
Off the tips too, which I'm happy with. So it was definitely a game of two halves.
Speaking of triple figures, Johnny Four Putts was out out this weekend as well. Hit triple figures and got punished with a baby apparently. So
yeah, big shout out to Johnny Three Putts.
It's a dangerous game hitting 100.
Nah, big congrats to Johnny Three Putts. Congratulations on the little girl. Went out and played an awful round, came home and had a baby. So good for you, mate. We're thinking of you. We're wishing you well, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I mean, see you in 5 years, buddy.
Yeah. Probably not much three putting. Probably no putting for a while. Johnny no putts.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, wishing you well. Wishing your wife and baby all the best. So this episode, we're gonna get right into the trivia this week. I'm gonna host. I got some great questions lined up with all the different golf events we had this weekend, being the Rocket Mortgage Classic, LIV Valderama, and the and the British Masters. Three actually pretty good events overall. We had the winner, Rickie Fowlers from the Rocket Mortgage Classic. We all knew he was going to take one. Not surprised to see him take this one. He's been just playing so well. For the LIV competition, I was so close. I wanted to be Danny, not Danny. Bryson DeChambeau. I wanted to say Danny DeChambeau. Just an old nickname, folks. Don't worry about that. And then, but that was again Taylor Gooch, who's just been on fire this season. Guy's gonna win like 30 million or something like that projected this season from the LIV winnings. And then finally, the British Masters, Daniel Hillier, a local New Zealander. Congrats, boys! You must be proud.
Shout out to him.
He's been floating around for a while. It's good to see.
Yeah,
listening to the pod, he's heard us talking about Foxy, and he wants to have his turn in the limelight. So
he's Foxy's fishing buddy. So there you go.
Is he?
Good for him.
Yeah.
New Zealand's a small place, all right.
Yeah. So in honor of the three events, I put together a little bit of mixed trivia for you boys. Okay. So your preference, you can message me on either Teams, obviously individually, not in the group chat, or on Messenger, whatever your preference is. Preferably both of you choose, and that way I don't have to go back and forth.
I'll send you one answer on each. There you go.
Well, I'm not surprised that you would do that.
Cool.
All right,
let's do it.
Getting into it. Let's start with the ladder. Daniel Hillier, however you pronounce it. It's a little bit of the French. I don't know how you say it because of my awful upbringing. But other than Titleist, who is Daniel's other major sponsor?
Oof. Other than Titleist.
Wouldn't
have a clue. I'll have a crack.
Both of you incorrect. His other major sponsor is Hugo Boss. You would have noticed it on the shirt he was wearing. It's Titleist and Hugo. Brand. I never said. Okay. I never said it was.
Gotcha. Yeah. Fair enough.
That's all right. No one got that one. Question number 2. Before and this is a double question, right? So you get 1 point for each answer you get right. Before the Rocket Mortgage Classic, Rickie Fowlers hadn't won since the Waste Management Open in 2019. Part A. What other major championship sporting event was on that weekend?
Say that again.
I know that.
What other major championship sporting event So obviously the final of a sporting event was hosted also on that weekend in which he won. If you think about this year, a little hint, think about this year. It's the same tournament.
Bill, what's the second part of the question?
Yeah, you both got that. That was the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's on that same weekend. Part B. So this is back in 2019. Get off your phones. Look at me. Look at me. Eyes up. What? What teams were playing in that Super Bowl and who won?
2019.
2019.
Yeah. 2019.
Answers in. Lock them in.
What did you say? Both teams that were playing. Sorry.
Who were the teams playing and who won?
I think I might be a year early on this, but I think I might be a year early.
Dan gets it. It was Rams and the Patriots. Patriots won. Hayden close. He had the Patriots. I mean, that was a pretty safe guess because they're in it, or they were in it every year. Not the Falcons though, unfortunately. 1 point to Dan. We'll say 1 point for now because you guys have been even so far. So I'll say Dan's 1 up.
You just said 1 point per question, right?
Yeah,
that was. You know how
you're even. You're even. So I'm like, just trying to figure out his win.
You know how I worked that out? It was the Eagles won in 2017, so I just went 2 years from that, right?
There you go.
There you go.
Good job. Well done. Now Bryson DeChambeau. He didn't win this weekend. He was very close. But Bryson DeChambeau is also a prominent YouTuber, which I'm sure you're aware. How many subscribers does he have approximately? I'm going to give you multiple choice here. A, 1.1 million. B, 650,000. Or C, 350,000. And 1 point goes to Hayden High Tees with 350,000. He actually
was that all?
I was actually surprised. I thought he would have more. But
how many have unsubscribed to him would be a good question.
Yeah. I just know like some of those guys like Micah worked so hard on it, and I think he's just cracked 600 maybe. So
yeah, and I don't know how hard Bryson's been working on it because I think he's working pretty hard on LIV. He's got that Saudi money now. Maybe he doesn't think as much of his YouTube career, but that being said, I doubt he would have lost heaps to go in and actually press the unsubscribe button's a lot of work, so you wouldn't get a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Now also in the LIV, we got Taylor Gooch who won this weekend. What is the young man's favorite football team? That's American football.
Like is it NFL?
NFL.
Ooh. I'm just gonna have a crack here. I think that might be where he's from.
Clock's counting. 5, 4, 3. Both wrong in this one. Dan, you're actually close. You said Texans. He's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. I was trying to think of teams in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. No, pretty close. Cowboys fan. Still tied, 1 each. All right. I'll tell you what. There's obviously 2 of these ones, if you get at least 1 more, you get the answer right. So the question is, name the members of the Golf Boys music video group.
Oh.
The Golf Boys. Famous, embarrassing video of some famous golfers.
Is that the guys that do the crotch thing?
You want 3, right?
You need to get at least, I'd say get 3 and I'll give you the point.
Oh.
It's the video I sent with. Yeah, I don't want to give you a hint actually.
No, I don't know.
It's the video I sent with Rickie Fowler in it. You know that video of them that they made ages ago that was super embarrassing. So obviously Rickie's one of them.
I'm just gonna guess because I don't know what you're talking about.
And I think there's another pretty infamous man who's.
I've got 2. I don't know if I can get the 3. Oh yeah.
One of them was hard. One of them I wouldn't have known, but one of them you probably might know.
Oh, sorry.
I think I've definitely got 2, but maybe 3.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. You just no. So Rick, hold on, I'm waiting for Hayden. Hayden, you gonna put anything in?
I don't know the video.
All right. Well, Rickie is right. Bubba's right. and JT's wrong.
Was it Spieth?
No, it was
Before
Ben
it started.
Crane, and the one that I it was Hunter Mahan.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't have got that. I got the Bubba, but not the other one.
Yeah.
I
All right,
posted the video, and you have to watch it. It's pretty crack up.
All right, still tied. Tiebreaker question then. Good one. Prior to this tournament, so obviously there was a hole-in-one in this tournament, made by your boy Max Homa. A great shot, put it past the pin, spun right in. It was a great shot. Before this tournament, who was the last person to get a hole-in-one? And the PGA Tour event.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I know. And I just want to clarify, I'm actually 1 up, so it's not even, but that's fine.
Are you 1 up?
Yeah, because none of us got the team.
Yeah, but Hayden got the Bryson DeChambeau one, and you had gotten the Super Bowl one, so it was tied.
No, but then I got the one before that, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You didn't. Well, you both got the.
I got
Super
the
Bowl
two
one.
teams. I got the 2 teams. Hayden just got the winner.
Yeah, but I didn't give a point for that.
Okay.
It was tied, mate. I'm keeping track.
Sure.
All right, we got the answers coming in. And in the playoff, Danny Business takes it. It was Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
Got the hole-in-one in the
first
Travelers.
ever hole-in-one.
First ever.
That's the only reason I remember it.
Yeah. So not quite F-Tiz. Who's F-Tiz? You mean Fitz? Fitzy? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Fitz was close. I was going to say Scheffler at first because I remember he got one recently too, and then.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings Dan, I think, to two up, winning the event. Hayden's got one. Well, we tied last week, so what is that? 2.5 for how did you win, Dan? Just 2? 1.5?
I don't know, but I just show up and answer questions. No, I lost the one with you, I think.
No, we tied.
Okay.
We tied 3 each. And then Hayden won the first one. You won this one. So that's I think you're at 1.5. Hayden's at 1, and I'm at 0.5. So we'll keep it at that. Keep tracking it. See how we end up at the end of the season. Loser buys the boys a nice whiskey. Whoever wants to sponsor the program. Speaking of which, tonight's sponsor is water. Great thing to live, keep you alive. So
yeah,
they sponsor
good
us
ingredient
tonight.
used in red wine also.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into the tournaments. Did we all watch all 3, or did you just pick 1 or 2 to watch?
I watched the 2 main ones. I watched the PGA and I watched a lot of the LIV. So
I watched the PGA. I watched a full replay today of the final day, which was great. But I sort of took a bit of a break. I watched the highlights of the LIV today. But I was very disinterested.
I watched more of the highlights of the Rocket mortgage. I watched each day highlights, and the highlights were actually great for the final day in the playoff. I tried to watch LIV live as much as I could because that was on at a bit of a better time, but I did. I found it getting late. I could never watch it all the way to the end, so I just ended up watching the final holes in the morning.
It was also
quite interesting with the PGA. They changed the tee times, brought it all way forward to avoid the weather, and they just did it. So
made it. Yeah. I think they were hoping there wasn't going to be a second playoff hole, but just with the LIV, it was on the same time as the Ashes cricket, which I ended up watching instead. But I watched a little bit of it live. But I'll give a shout out to the final day of Rocket Mortgage. Today was a very good day of golf. Watching that, it was great.
And the young man Hayden's been a fan for a while. Colin Morikawa coming out of nowhere on day 4. How about that?
Yeah. He he's been threatening. It's just he couldn't get it together, but he was still hanging on. So
he went like 8 under today. He was killing 8 under, and then Rickie didn't get a single bird on the back 9 until he absolutely had to tie.
Some crazy stat for Morikawa, like hadn't missed a fairway period or something.
14 out of 14. Well, 15 out of 15 fairways if you count the playoff. Yeah. So, and that playoff drive was like, he looked nervous. I think me and you spoke about today. Yeah. He looked super nervous over that with his Sim 2 driver. But then he just absolutely smoked one of the purest drives of the day.
I mean, I don't know if you watched his press conference after, but he was talking about that last shot he made on the playoff hole. Thought he had absolutely striped it. And to find out from the reactions that it had actually bounced off the back of the green, because he was like, everything's spinning back. I knew it was like going to carry probably the exact distance to the flag. When I hit him, like, oh, maybe a little bit longer. And he's like, I literally mishit that by 1 yard. Like just the adrenaline being in the playoff.
1 yard, and that ball lands like Hadwin's did, and it'll roll back. It almost
rips.
Goes hole.
Yeah. Rips back.
So, and then we might have a second hole between Rickie and Colin, which no one would have objected to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who knows what would have happened if he had made that shot, got close. If Rickie knew the ball was close, maybe he would have been more nervous. Because I mean, literally all he had to do was sink that puck to win.
Rickie was in the deep rough. No one was stopping him. He just the 18th and the playoff hole. The dude just absolutely stuffs it. Like two of the best shots you've seen all day, not off the fairway. And not only that, on the 18th, not only did he control the distance perfectly, he controlled the spin as well out of the rough. He made it spin just enough to stop on a dime, not to come back. Like you saw Haddon's shot, obviously came back about 20, 25 feet. Rickie just absolutely, just went, like we say all the time, he went out and he won it. Both times he was in the rough, and he just went out and birdied it both times.
I mean, so are you saying, do you think it was deliberate, him going in the rough then to take the spin off?
Absolutely not. But it was just a guy who had to win a tournament soon, and he went out and he won it, right? Colin's getting to that point where he has to win something soon, but Rickie's undeniably been trending to win something.
Rickie, the shot that he hit, his into the green shot on the 18th to get himself in the playoff was reminiscent to me of Jason Day. Like, just like the moment, he stuffed it, couldn't have drawn it up and executed any better. Just, it was perfect.
It was, yeah, because he did that when Day won, didn't he? Hopefully the next few weeks isn't the same as it was for Day, but he was struggling on the back nine, not making a single birdie, and then he's got to be thinking US Open. He's got to be thinking, last week where he was in the running on the last day, but just didn't quite execute. And obviously on the 18th hole, he just decided to go out there and get it. And
Jason Day was we were saying the exact same thing about Jason Day.
Yeah, except I think Rickie's maybe like Day was trending a bit, but Rickie's been like really, really solidly competing every week.
Rickie's been solid every single week, and I honestly don't think he's gonna let off after this tournament. Like, I don't think for him, like, yes, I think he's happy to win one again, but I think he's focused on getting to the majors, like actually getting one of those big wins. I think this is just a little stepping stone for him.
He has to win a major, but he's also like, he won it, and it was a big deal. You could see, like we were talking today, like he looked like he was fighting back some tears. He was trying to play the tough guy, but the thing about his golf is it looks pretty effortless too. Like, he's not driving further than anybody. He's not, but all his iron shots look smooth. They look easy. His putting looks great. He just, everything about his game looks very controlled right now.
So I thought, while we're on Rickie, I just want to touch on some stats quickly, because these are the only ones I've got for you, right? Just comparing last year to this year with Rickie Fowler. Last year he played 56 rounds of golf. His stroke chain total 133rd, off the tee 114th, approach 150th, and 161st putting. So he was just like, 56 rounds.
Let me guess. This year, he's better.
This year he's a lot better. But measured rounds this year already 65.
Yeah.
So making cuts. He's played 11 more rounds of golf than he did the entire year, and we're in July. 8th stroke gain total. It probably inflated because of this weekend. Off the tee is not that great. Approach to green 7th, putting 30th. But he is consecutive par 3 birdies, consecutive ones, first in the whole PGA. Lowest round score, first in the whole PGA. Driving efficiency, first in the PGA. For year to date, par 3 scoring average, 3rd. So when on the scoring holes, he's going out there and getting it. That's really, really impressive.
Yeah. And that's what we want to see in our. That's what we want to see in our champions, right? Guys who are just getting it, going out, and we're not winning by holding on, but winning by grabbing it.
And what's that's a bit forward, Dan, but we'll just say it definitely shows in the rankings too. Like, he's dropped, I think he was like 160th last year, and he's now in the top 25 after the Rocket Mortgage Classic. So good for the young man.
Now, awesome.
Yeah, he's 23rd, I think. Wait, or is he 35th?
He was, I think he was 153 last year, and now he's down to his FedEx is 8th and his OGWR is 35th. I don't know if the 35th has changed.
No, it's changed. It's changed. On the website, he's 23rd. He's moved up.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, last week he was 35th, so this week he's 23rd after the win.
This is a guy that was like waiting on the driving range for people to drop out to get into events. I think he missed out on the US Open last year. He was waiting on the driving range, warming up, hoping someone would withdraw, and he missed out.
Brutal.
I love it.
It's crazy too. This group, like obviously him, JT, Spieth, like they're all friends, right? They're all very close friends growing up. I feel like every year one of them's super hot and the other ones have just kind of fallen off. You know what I mean? Like one of them's usually playing really well and the others are like trying to keep up and maybe they'll bring it up next year. So congrats, Rickie. Great win. Collin Morikawa though. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was striping his shots on the last day. It was like beautiful to watch. And even the putter was working for him. I don't know. Maybe he got I didn't see what putter he was using. Maybe he got one of those jailhouse putters that everyone's been talking about from Callaway. Apparently, they've been so popular after Rickie's been using them. Keegan Bradley's been using them. Wyndham Clark's been using them.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've gone back into production, which is insane that you would just start building these putters and just give them to the public again. But apparently, it's to stop the black market prices because people have just been inflating them like crazy after the wins. But
Colin was he was striping. What is our thoughts on the going back to the sim? Was it a sim 2? You guys use a sim? Well, Hayden still uses the sim. What was it?
I mean, it was. I originally thought it was a sim. I said to you guys in the chat, I was like, hold on, why is Colin hitting a sim driver? Because we remember Rory refused to use the sim Stealth 2 and used the previous year's Stealth model. So I don't know what Morikawa's bag dealers. A lot of them have 11 club deals, or like some of them have 14 club deals. I don't know what Morikawa's is. It's probably 11 going by the looks of that.
He's got to be full TaylorMade though, right? Because he is.
He's got the team TaylorMade putter cover. I think he uses a TaylorMade putter.
All over TikTok.
But I mean, that to me that says he doesn't have to use a TaylorMade club in that spot. He picks one, so it's a good showing for the Sim 2. But it's kind of like, yikes, we're going back.
It's a bad look for the Stealth 2. Right?
Well, I don't think it is. I think it's a bad look for Morikawa because I mean the Stealth 2
came second.
The Stealth 2, right, has been rated one of the top drivers of the year through rigorous testing for normal human beings. I think what potentially Colin lacked was maybe accuracy. In the Sim 2, I felt like had more spin, more spin and more accuracy on the fairways. So maybe he's giving up that distance for control. That's what I think.
What you just said was that the Stealth 2 is the best driver for normal human beings. Now I would argue that Colin's probably not in the normal human being class when it comes to golf. So he's seen something that the rest of us don't see in this club. Maybe it might even just be a comfortability thing. It might just be something that he's just like.
I agree. It's probably just comfortable because that's when he was playing his best.
Yeah. Think about us playing golf. Like how many times do you do the same thing when you play golf, or you put your clubs back in the same slot? We're a very what's the word, like conspiracy style bunch of people who play golf, right? So
how much would it cost you to sell me that shitty 3-5 hybrid you got in your bag, Dan? How much?
Yeah, no, that bag that club will be in my bag until I can't play golf anymore, and I don't even really use it anymore. But it's my safety. I know I can get out of trouble with it, right? So maybe it's a bit of that. And Colin just came second, so I highly doubt it's going to change next week.
I mean, if we're talking about superstition with clubs, like I would say maybe for putters, but these guys are striping the middle. These guys are the best in the world. I don't think it has anything to do with feeling more comfortable, to be honest.
It's got to be something to do with the Stealth 2 then, because if Rory didn't like it, Colin doesn't like it, maybe TaylorMade tapped them on the shoulder and said, hey, you have to like it.
I hate agreeing with you in this, Dan, but I know that Scotty's the face of his club broke the other weekend. He had to get a replacement driver. So look, Stealth 2 has been really controversial. Stealth was like received okay, and then they all warmed up to it and all used it. But I know Stealth 2 has been real controversial. Rory, every picture you see on any pro shop of Rory, he's hitting a Stealth 2 3-wood.
Yeah. Look, and if TaylorMade want us to test the Stealth 2 driver just to see what the numbers are like, they could send us 3 of them and we'll go on and have a hit, right?
I know Trotty listens, so Trotty, if you hear us,
yeah,
Trotty's
We'll
probably
test them out.
gonna Trotty's probably gonna point you to my Golf Spy stats where they've hit like hundreds and thousands of balls and has consistently proven that the Stealth 2 is one of the best drivers out there at the moment.
Okay.
Without being sponsored, completely unbiased.
Look, Colin Morikawa tells me something different.
Look, right. Colin's whispering in your ear on the side. Maybe I'd believe it if I saw it, but I don't think there's any truth to what you guys are putting down right now. And I'm happy to take that. Look, if you guys wanna yell at me for it, that's fine. I disagree.
We'll ask him when he comes on the pod. We'll ask him why he did it.
But still on the Colin Morikawa, he's already said he's pulling out of the Scottish, and he's just going to practice more links golf, and he's going to get ready for the Open because he says every time I play the Scottish, I play it badly, so I'm just going to keep practicing more. What do we think about that? Do you think he's got a chance?
Scottish Open's one of those DP events that I love to watch. If for some reason, no matter what the field is, like same with the Irish Open, I really like those events.
Me too.
Because typically there's the best of the DP and there's always a sprinkling of PGA, and it's always the PGA guys that want to get ready for the Open, right? So ones who are taking it really seriously. And I think Morikawa is probably got his eye on the Open, right? That's why he's going there. I love it. No matter who's there, I'll be watching that.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan. Look, I think Morikawa, it probably doesn't suit his game as much, that kind of linksy golf, but I think he probably needs to put, your Fleetwoods and your Rorys and all them are just going to fall into it quite easily. I think your ball strikers like Scotty will go well, but apart from the putting. But I think someone like Morikawa who hits that kind of that fade shape, they're big iron, like long iron players. He's probably going to have to work hard, and it's good that he's taking it seriously.
I mean, he's won the Open twice.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the Scottish Open we're talking about, aren't we?
Yeah, but didn't he say he's pulling out of it though?
Pulling out?
Yeah, because he said he didn't play it well previously. So that's what I said. I thought he said he was pulling out of it.
Playing. You just said that he was playing. That's why you got us confused there.
No, I think I said pulling out. I'll have a look. Pulling out.
We'll rewind the tape.
Of Scottish.
But I think with those linksy type courses over there, and sometimes it's absolutely pissing down with rain, you're standing under an umbrella, you've bought 5 gloves and 3 towels. You've got to be. That's why like Ryan Fox always did quite well in those tournaments, because you play golf growing up in that sort of environment. I think that the short wedge players and the putters will always win those competitions, right?
Yeah, I hate playing in the rain. I fucking hate it. So
I like playing in the rain. I don't like playing straight after the rain.
I don't like watching golf in the rain. I don't like playing in the rain. So
I think when Dan and I first started getting into golf, we played half our rounds in the rain when we started.
And
there'd be no one on the course. It'd be like, sweet, let's just go out and walk out and hit some balls.
We got used to it. Yeah, we got used to it. It was great.
Yeah. How did we enjoy the Voldemort, the Spanish LIV event?
I liked the
Valderama.
course, and I think it's a shame that Dan didn't have the time to watch it. It's really small greens and really thin fairways. It was a really difficult course, and I can't remember what the winning score was, but it was relatively low. It might have been like 10 under. 10 under.
Yeah.
It played hard. It's a hard
11,
course.
11 for the win, I think. Bryson was 10, and then Gooch birdied the last hole or something like that.
And I mean, what a beautiful course.
Yeah.
It was pure. Everything about it was beautiful. I hate small greens, so that they're watching it was giving me PTSD. But it was cool, and the Spanish people got it. The crowd got it. They were happy. They were cheering. The party atmosphere. Probably this season the second best LIV event to Adelaide. And like they were just following Sergio around. What's his name? Puig. A couple of the other Spanish boys. Puig, or whatever, however you pronounce it.
And he played well too.
He did. It was a good event. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. And I thought all the big guys were there. I thought it was anyone's tournament in any of those 3 days. Nice to see Bryson hit a good round the second day to take the lead. But Dan, you would have loved it. I mean, it was your style of play. Gooch was just chasing him down all day on the last day, and then on the very last hole, sunk the birdie for the win from like 15 feet.
There was just no way that I was going to be watching it at the end of each round because of the time that it was on, right? I did watch the beginning. I had the Ashes on the TV, and then I had LIV on my phone to watch it until I fell asleep. But there was just no way for me to be up to watch the rest of it. I did watch a bit of the highlights today, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're pulling it all together just before they get torn apart.
One thing I just want to add to that though is I love the fact that I can't remember. I think it was 7,200 yards. It wasn't particularly long. I love the fact that you can have a hard weekend like that. They were hitting irons off the tee. They were being creative. There was like big cork trees in the middle of fairways, all kinds of weird shit basically, and they just had to deal with it. And it was some really creative golf out there. I really liked it. They didn't have to move the tee box back 100 yards. They had big hitters in the field. And, I mean, Taylor Gooch isn't necessarily the biggest hitter, and he won. So I think that was cool too.
Yeah, 7,084 yards apparently from the Blacks. So
7,084.
Yeah. So I think it was a good event. I really enjoyed watching, DJ, Brooks, Bryson, all those guys, and Cam, all those guys play really well watching the move on the leaderboard. So I did enjoy that. I do wish they were, that field was back with the other big boys, so that they were playing together again. But even DJ said this week that he's not looking to change the amount of golf he's playing. He likes playing these, only a couple events per year. It's easier, obviously, but he's got no. It doesn't seem like he's any intention of going back to PGA, even if they offered it to him.
What was it? 13 events that they play? How many elevated events are there in the PGA calendar? Just saying. Come back to PGA, just play elevated events only.
I don't think you can. You have to play.
No, they have to play. They have to play the elevated events, but there's only 13 of those. And then they play the opens, the 4 majors, which he's going to play anyway. So if he doesn't want to change the amount of golf he's playing, good news. Come back to the PGA, play even less.
We'll see what his contract says.
Yeah, good point.
His contract says whatever's going to make the company the most money, I think.
Yeah.
God, I just feel like there's way more elevated events than that. I just feel like we have an event every weekend. Every second one's like elevated.
I thought it was 12 or 13 elevated events this year. I don't know what next year's.
Where did the number 8 come from? I feel like they had to play 8 or something like that.
No, they had to play one less than the full amount.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was 13 elevated events because I remember it was similar to what LIV play.
Yeah. Well, and they probably, and there's other events that the guys play too that they just enjoy. But yeah, okay. Well, look, maybe DJ will come back then. Maybe I'll stand corrected. But he did make that statement for a reason. I don't know why. It sounded like he was happy staying with LIV. But anyway, it was good to see those guys play. And they all played really well and very competitively. And it would be nice to see them all in the same field again with the PGA guys. I think we can all agree on that.
For sure.
I didn't watch the British Open except for the highlights from Daniel on the last day. And holy crap, he played amazing. Like, especially like the last, I think 4 or 5 holes, just absolutely amazing shots. I think it started out of that bunker. He just went on a tear, which was great to see for the young man. Daniel, I don't know if you share a connection with this young man, same names, same Spirit country, connection. Both in love with Foxy. I don't know if you have anything to add to Daniel's game.
No, but it's good. Like I mean, Hayden probably feels the same way. But when you see a Kiwi win something or do well that you don't know a lot about, just I don't know, you get a bit of national pride because it's just such a small country, right? So little amount of golfers. It's just so good to see.
Yeah, Hayden, did you watch any of the Masters?
No, I'm not going to pretend I did. It was between the other 2 tournaments and life. It was a bit of a big ask. I think Min was up there. We mentioned him last week. He did all right. I don't think Justin Rose. I can't remember where
Justin Rose was winning after day 1, I think. And I only know that because my friend told me that.
So no, I didn't. And good on Dan Hillier or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, I hope he does well. But I mean, that tournament, he was like 7 strokes back or something, 6 or 7 strokes back from the lead starting off, and just ended up winning by 2. I would highly recommend watching his last day highlights. They were great. Now, next week we have a couple different tournaments. There's another LIV event in London. There is the John Deere, the PGA event. And out of those 2, I'm probably going to watch LIV. But I think we spoke about this before, and Hayden, you even mentioned it last pod. But I think we're a bit golfed out. I think we need a weekend off. So again, it might just be a highlight reel for me this weekend. I don't know about you guys if you're going to take time to watch them. And then potentially next week we might look at having a guest on the show instead of talking about the tournaments.
We're thinking about the Centurion. It should finish. It should sort of start up about when the footy ends for us on Friday nights. So it's a pretty easy casual. It's pretty easy, slow wind down to bed watching Brooksy and Bryson.
In all likelihood, I will probably be at Mr. Haiti's house on one of those days. So the golf will be watched, whether or not it's watched intently. Look, for me, like I said, if it's on after the footy, I'll watch it because I typically stay out for a couple of hours afterwards. The John Deere, though, I do want to say, like, even though the field's not as strong as other weeks, the John Deere has always been there for a reason. Like, I think it's got the highest amount of rookie winners out of any tournament on the PGA Tour schedule. And the reason that it's there is to try and give the amateurs more of a go, because it's always during the off week. Typically, I think the Irish Open or the Scottish Open or something is typically on this weekend or the next weekend. So what they do is all of the bigger names will go over to Europe. So while they're over in Europe, some of the younger guys get a chance to have a crack, which is not the worst thing in the world. It's not great watching, but it's good for golf. So you got to give them a little bit of props there that they're bringing through the next generation, right? So I'm not going to watch it, but it's still a good thing.
Yeah, don't completely agree with that, and I won't take it personally that I missed that invite to Hayden Haiti's house on the weekend. Not taking that personal at all.
Good.
On that note, maybe it's time to get to the picks.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at what we did last week, and we actually had a couple. I think maybe the most winners that we've had so far on a single week. The Aussie came through for us. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping that someone would drop a shot so that he might get pushed out to 21st, because you guys both had him at T20 and I had him at T40, which wouldn't have been the worst thing. But he came through for us all. We all got that bet. Obviously, Rickie Fowler for me I think I had him T10, comes out and takes it, which was great. And Mr. Adam Shank for Shanky.
Yeah, great call on that
got
one.
The T10 as well. That was a good call. It's paying $6. It was fantastic. And then Mr. Troy Merritt, the T40, the man that nobody had heard of.
That was a good call. You could have even put him in top 20. That would have been insane.
Oh, that would have paid a lot. That would have paid quite
a lot of haters out there. Look, I think
no one hated.
Merritt. You look, both of you were just rolling your eyes, scoffing.
We were on you for actually picking someone with a bit of risk for once. So, yeah, great.
Someone wasn't Scotty.
Yeah, I actually did check his T20 odds. I checked his T20 odds when I was looking up the odds like I always do. I think it was like something like $11.50 for T20. So that would have been a really big win.
Look, he's a household name. He was an easy lock. He was my first man picked, and look, that's what it is.
There you go. So basically, we look at the leaderboard now. I'm coming last on a great negative $176.40, which is fantastic. Mr. Sorry, let me check these are all done correctly. Yep, Mr. Shanky Watts is actually leading coming second. Sorry, $29.80. And Mr. Hayden Haiti's is currently winning at $53.30. So what we're going to do this week for a little bit of a different mix-up is we're going to go on to the LIV event, which we haven't done. This is the first LIV event that we're going to bet on, and we're going to do a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a snake draft, which is similar to how they picked their teams in the beginning. I'm going to go first because I'm coming last. Simon's going to go second because he's coming second, and Hans going to go third. We're going to pick Shanky. We're going to pick 4 players each, and basically, if one of our players wins, then we get the odds for that player. And if none of our players wins, then whoever gets the highest person after that is going to get half the odds for that. So we're going to add another little row here to the spreadsheet. But I'm going to go and take at 1.1. I'm going to take Mr. Brooks Koepka. Over to you, Shanky.
Yeah. I'm going to take DJ straight up.
Yeah, DJ, the classic second pick.
Cool, I'm going to go Cam Smith.
And you get to pick again because we're doing the snake draft.
In that case, I'm going to go Taylor Gooch.
Gooch. Can he go back to back? Most people would say no, but let's have a look. Shanky, you next.
HV3.
HV3.
The second range goat to go down in the draft.
There you go. Simon's picking only players with like shortened names, I think. There's a strategy here. I am going to go in on my second pick, and I'm going to take Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. So Bryson, and then my third pick, so I get to pick back to back. I'm going to change it up a little bit here, and I'm going to go with our favorite on the pod. Where is he?
Brandon Grace.
Brandon Gracie.
I knew it. I knew you would.
There he goes. Gracie's off the board, boys. Sorry about that one.
Yeah.
Shanky, back to you.
Yep. I am going to take. Where is he? I shouldn't be that far down.
It's always a good sign.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. I do like Pokrack. He played well recently, but I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take Mito.
Mito.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
Mito. Yeah.
I do like Mito.
Love it. Yep. Over to you, High Tees.
we're going to go Patrick Reed.
Paddy Reed. Why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the last pick for yourself?
We're going to go Sebastian Munoz. I've been yanking his chain for a while, so we're going to back it up. Sebastian
Munoz. Shanky, with your last pick.
The last pick, the last but not least, I'm going to go Lahiri.
Lahiri?
Yeah.
Anaban?
Sure.
Lahiri. Alrighty. And then that leaves the last pick for me. I was actually going to pick Mito. Mito's gone. I want to go with. Where am I? I'm going to go with a Joaquin Neiman. There you go.
3 of the Torquay team going down.
There you go.
I'm actually surprised you didn't take Oosthuizen.
I was going to take Oosthuizen, but he just let me down last week. And I was on him, and he just showed me nothing. So
I feel like one of those South Africans are going to pull something big this weekend. I just got a feeling.
Brandon Grace.
Gracie's South African, isn't he?
He is.
Yep. He's got a stinger.
Recap the teams. So team Danny Bidness is Brooks, Bryson, Gracie, and Neiman. Team Shanky Watts is DJ, HV3, Mito, and Lahiri. And Team High Tees is Cam Smith, Taylor Gooch, Paddy Reed, and Sebastian Munoz. So we'll get some odds out for that later in the week, and we'll finalize how we're gonna do the payouts there. But yeah, that's a little bit exciting, a little bit different way to do it. So
out of Hayden's picks currently in the standings, Patrick Reed is the worst player at 11th in the standings. So he's got 3 in the top 10, and then Paddy in the 11th.
Joaquin Neiman's 20th.
What?
And there's definitely people below him.
No, he's just talking about my team.
I'm talking about Hayden's team.
Oh, okay, got you.
Because he's got Gooch. He's got
Cam
Smith.
Gooch should be first. Cam Smith should be second or third.
You've got 1 and 3, and I've got 2 and 4. Brooks and Gracie against.
Munoz will be up there. He'll be like probably 5th or 6th or 7th. Yeah.
6th, yeah.
I got a great feeling about my team, though. Great feeling.
Yeah.
Interestingly, we didn't pick a single English player.
Because they all suck.
They suck. I was sneaky gonna go Paul Casey, but
I like Paul Casey, but
yeah, I like Paul Casey.
Couldn't back.
I don't know,
couldn't
man.
back
you
the
can't go
young
past
man.
the power of Gracie, mate. Gracie's your typical LIV golfer. We've spoken about him at length.
I don't know who won last year. Actually, it's Centurion.
DJ did. That's why I took him first.
I was going to take him first, but I just thought Brooks. Yeah, Brooks is having himself a year.
He's only won 1 tournament so far in LIV.
Yeah, but he's also won another tournament that was pretty impressive.
Nah, no one cares about that one. PGA Championship.
Yeah.
All right. So just explain again, Dan, how that's going to work.
Yeah, it's cool. So the way that's going to work is if any of our players win, we're going to get paid out at that rate. So whatever the rate is on the betting accounts that we use. And if none of our players win, we're just going to take the next highest and we're just going to pay it out at, say, half the rate. We might punch out those numbers later and see what actually works. Maybe we can do a second prize as well, but we can figure that out after the fact. But basically, whoever gets the winning person should get paid out pretty well.
Sounds good. All right. Well, with picks done, that leads us to our final segment, Holin Out. And as always, we start with Danny Bidness, but this week I thought we'd pass the torch over to Hayden Heintes.
I'm holding out on our what we're working on in the pipeline. I'm actually really excited about this. So we sort of laid down some groundwork today, a little bit of tease moving forward. We might have our first guest on the pod next week and interview a PGA player who's done Q School and all that kind of stuff. We're working on the logistics. That's what I'm holding out on. That's what I'm really excited for.
Some people are saying it's Scotty Scheffler, but we're yet to.
Some people are
the
saying
odds aren't out yet.
We're going to start a little bit closer to home, but we're like I said, we're ironing out the logistics, and we'll see what we can come up with. But that's what I'm excited for.
So you're holding out on a potential guest on the show.
A potential guest, the first one.
No.
I'm looking forward to it.
Look at you, you're giddy, mate. I can see it.
Yeah.
Imagine being the first guest. Imagine the announce that comes with that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's me.
Well. All right. I'll go next. I'll leave the best for last, Danny, as always. I'm holding out this week on scramble play. Danny Bidness and myself have been going out in twos. A couple times here and there, and I think our record currently is -3 on the course that we've been playing. And for a 2-man scramble, we were -4, but we always bogey the last hole. It is such a crappy hole, and it's a crappy course. Like, I don't want to say which one it is, just because. But holding out on scramble play for the two young men. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very relaxing.
Isn't that 9 holes?
And enjoyable
9 holes?
9 holes, yeah.
Yeah, we just do it. I know,
of course.
Yeah.
But I'd say that it's also fun because we don't it's relaxing, but we also kind of take it seriously. Like, we talk to each other about, hey, what are you going to do? Should I go first because you want to do that? Or, hey, you try that, and if you fail, I'll do the safe shot, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. We're communicating. Usually we hate each other when we play golf with each other. So this is very different, communicating and getting along. And for me personally, it's very relaxing. I can just, I don't know, swing free. Don't care about shots. I know if Dan misses one, I'll try my best to make it. And I don't feel pressure from that. I feel just like I want to hit a good shot. So I enjoy it.
To hit better shots sometimes when you've got the safety of knowing that it doesn't matter if you miss too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Cool. All right, Danny Bidness, what are you holding out on, mate?
Yeah, I've got two short things to hold out on. So the first one is, I'm just calling it, say, wrapping up a project. So today I sent the money off. So every year we do a boys golf trip, and I sent the money off to pay for the accommodation. I just got a little feeling of, okay, it's done. It's done now, right? After
we've got somewhere to stay.
We've got not only have we got somewhere to stay, but we've paid for it. I'm sending $4,000 off to this. And then you start to think about, getting all this money off all these people, how cool it actually is. It's a cool feeling, and that's why I sort of put my hand up to create it. Is, the money that we get from everyone, I get almost $10,000 in the account just from a bunch of guys who want to play golf.
And you're like, I could just leave. I could just leave, take it and run.
Could quit my job. No, so it's a good feeling because you're finally paying for it. You've organized it, and I know everyone's going to have fun. I'll still have those butterflies about when I get down there, making sure everyone has a good time, but if anyone's out there listening, thinking about making a golf trip for their mates, someone's just got to stand up and do it. And once you do it and get it done, everyone has fun and remembers it, and it's a good time. So the money's been sent, accommodation's locked in. I'm sleeping on the floor, but that's fine. I think they've got a pull. They did say they have a pull-out couch for me, so that'll be fine.
Yeah.
The second thing I've got is also it's not really golf related, but it's using golf logic in real life, which is something that I've learned to do. So, not just always just going for the thing that you think straight away, stopping and thinking about what you're about to do and making a logical choice, whether it's replying to an email that was passive aggressive at work, or exercise or anything like that. Using golf logic has sort of helped me in a lot of
step away from the shot, reevaluate, step away,
take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Wait for your heart rate to slow down before you take action. I've been finding myself using that as my handicap gets lower and lower. I found myself using that logic more and more in real life, and even with my team members at work, using golf analogies to sort of summarize situations. And even if I'm not using golf terminology, just replacing the golf words with real life words, and it works really, really well. So if you haven't tried it, absolutely try it. The whole next shot's your best shot. Your next phone call is your best phone call. It works perfectly.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. Completely agree. I mean,
Danny Robbins, they call me.
Golf is all about being honest with yourself, right? If you can't be honest with yourself, then you have no business, making some of the decisions you make.
Sometimes you play 18 holes and you just lie to yourself the whole time, and then you go back the next day and fix it up.
Or you don't
fix it up at all.
Yeah, that's right. But that happens. Golf is such a mirror to real life. It's that's why everyone loves it. That's why we're all addicted to it. You can go out there and hit 100. You go out the next day and hit 80 something.
It's the seeking perfection that you'll never ever perfect. That's right. Addictive. Same as live. Going back to your comment on the golf trip, how good is it that everyone's has everyone paid?
Everyone's paid. Yep, we finally got old Johnny 4 parts to pay just in time before his baby was born. Now he's got no money
He's
forever.
got an extra part of it.
Yeah.
yeah. So everyone's paid. The money's in the account. Half of it's basically been spent on accommodation already. Courses are locked in. The next step for me is almost the best part is I get to go out to Dan Murphy's and buy the beers, buy the whiskey, get that cinnamon whiskey for the shots ready to go for the boys.
We just need to get prizes sorted out. I think
prizes, yep. And the new boys to the trip, you're gonna have to cover your drinks and make sure no one drops a golf ball in there.
New boys get smoked, eh? Oh.
Yeah, that's the tradition. And if you get a golf ball in your drink, you have to scull it. So it became a very expensive exercise last year because we didn't realize the drinks were $13 each. So
yeah,
walking around like this all night.
Yeah, that's right. That's
just
right.
Super protective. How much have you guys been drugged?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the trip. Looking forward to getting to meet some of the new boys as well. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. And, there's some guys who are just starting out in golf who are just so keen to come. So it's really exciting to see. So look forward to having them there.
All right. Those handicaps done.
The handicaps are done. I don't know what you keep talking about. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect.
No, not quite. Not quite. But yeah, they can be done fairly quickly. But on that note, I think it's been a great pod, guys. And that's it for this episode of the Holin None Podcast. See you next time.
See you later.
Peace.